Good evening. It's Saturday, the 4th of October. You're tuned in to our 10 p.m. newscast coming to you from ARIRANG's News Centre in Seoul. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Broome. And we start tonight with the surprise visit to South Korea by a high-level North Korean delegation led by the regime's second most powerful man. Their arrival in the South earlier today is raising hopes for a breakthrough in inter-Korean relations. Let's go straight over to our correspondent Hwang Sung-hee at Seoul's Unification Ministry. Sung-hee, the delegation met with South Korean officials earlier today. Did they reach any agreements on anything?
Mark, unfortunately, there was no groundbreaking inter-Korean agreement. After a near 2-hour luncheon, the officials agreed on holding a second round of high-level talks sometime in late October or early November at a time preferred by Seoul. But a piece of paper was apparently handed over at an additional round of talks held between Prime Minister Chung Hong-won and the North Korean delegation following the closing ceremony. So we still have to wait and see. Now, that meeting was held at the request of North Korea. The visit itself came as a surprise as Pyongyang notified the South of its decision to send a high-level delegation last night to attend the closing ceremony of the Asian Games. Now, the North Korean delegation, which was being led by the regime's second most powerful man, Hwang Sung-hee, was greeted by South Korean National Security Director Kim Kwan-jin and Unification Minister Ryu Gil-jae. Now, the atmosphere at the meeting was very amicable, starting off with the officials shaking hands and saying that the sporting event should serve as a catalyst for improved inter-Korean relations. Take a listen.
또 남북 축구관에도 보니까 넘어지면 서로 손잡고 일으켜주기도 하고 그래서 아하 선수들끼리 동포애가 작용하는구나. 가을이 결실하게 됐다. 남북 관계가 아마 큰 수확을 이렇게 거두어야 되지 않겠느냐 생각을 합니다.
이런 그 자랑상 성과를 거뒀기 때문에 오늘 이제 이런 뜻깊은 자리가 걸릴만하다고 생각합니다. 앞으로 이거 다 모르고 이렇게 저렇게 보던 분이지만은 또 앞으로 이렇게 처음 만났으니까 더 구면이 되기를 바라서 바랍니다.
Yes, well, smiles all round there. And Sung-hee, this is the highest level of exchanges we've seen between the two Koreas since President Park Geun-hye took office early last year, isn't that right?
Definitely, Mark. It definitely is. The delegation was made up of 3 of the highest-ranking officials in North Korea. Now, if you could take a look at the chart here, Hwang Sung-hee is the regime's second most powerful man as the vice chairman of the National Defense Commission. Choi Ryong-hae was removed from his post as the number 2, but was named the chairman of the State Physical Culture and Sports Guidance Commission earlier this month. And if you don't know what that is, it is one of the positions held by Chang Sung-taek earlier. Kim Yong-gun is also a very well-known figure for those following North Korea because he has been the man in charge of inter-Korean affairs since 2007. He was actually dispatched to South Korea as an envoy of former North Korean leader Kim Jong-il twice in 2007 and 2009.
Now, Sung-hee, North Korea has been rejecting South Korea's offer for high-level talks since August. Yet it decided today to send this high-level delegation, its highest level in years. Is the general expectation that this could become a key moment for better inter-Korean ties?
Mark, if you watched the closing ceremony tonight, it was really a promising sight for inter-Korean ties with key South Korean officials sitting right next to the visiting high-level North Korean delegation. Now, experts in Seoul say that the North Korean motive for sending its second most powerful man and the official in charge of inter-Korean affairs is to show its determination to improve ties with South Korea. But others are also saying that the delegation is only here to promote North Korea's achievements at the Asian Games by personally congratulating the athletes. And some are also pointing to the possibility that the North may be aiming to shake off rumors about Kim Jong-un's health problems by showing that the leadership is stable even when the highest-ranking officials are out of town. This has been Hwang Sung-hee reporting live from the Unification Ministry.
Well, thank you, Sung-hee, for your reports today. Now, the presidential office of Cheongwon-dae had to be on its toes during the unexpected visit by this highest-ranking North Korean delegation to come to the south since President Park took office early last year. The presidential chief of staff, Kim Ki-chun, held a meeting of his senior secretaries to discuss this trip by Hwang Byung-seo, Choi Ryong-hae and Kim Yang-gon, who arrived from Pyongyang on Saturday morning. South Korea's ruling and opposition parties have both welcomed this visit. The ruling Saenuri Party says it hopes the trip will help resolve conflicts between the Koreas, the main opposition New Politics Alliance for Democracy. Also welcomed the delegation and expressed hopes the talks between the two sides would go well. Now, the official reason the North Korean delegation were in town was for the closing ceremony of the Incheon Asian Games. The curtain has officially come down on the sporting extravaganza, and it did so this evening with a star-studded celebration of the athletes' participation and their numerous achievements. Our Song Ji-sun reports on what was a very successful game for both of the Koreas.
439 gold medals are now in the hands of their new owners, and 14 new world records and 28 continental records were set along the way. Out of the 45 countries that took part, 8 leave without a medal, but their attempts to make history are still golden to everyone involved. The president of the Olympic Council of Asia, Sheikh Ahmad Al-Fahad Al-Sabah, rated the Incheon Games as the concert of the ideals of the Games. Saying the council had doubts about whether North Korea would take part in Incheon until the last minute, the OCA chief stressed North delegation attending the closing ceremony was a token of the Asian Games concept, adding that a lot of things can be solved through sports. Sporting-wise, China cemented its status as Asia's strongest sports powerhouse with over 150 gold medals. South Korea finished in a comfortable second place for the 5th straight Asian Games, falling slightly short of its goal of winning 90 gold medals. North Korea achieved its goal of finishing in the top 10 for the first time in 12 years, at 7th overall in the medal standings. North Korean athletes set 4 new world records in weightlifting, ranking 4 golds in the sport. North Korea also won gold in women's football and silver in men's event in an inter-Korean match against the South. South Korea had their best moments in the ball game, sweeping goals in men's football, baseball, and basketball. At this year's Asian Games, the honor of the most valuable player went to Japan's swimming sensation, Kosuke Hagino. The 20-year-old was the most decorated athlete in Incheon with 7 medals, including 4 gold on his Asia debut. Song Ji-sun, ARIRANG News.
And congratulations to all the athletes who competed in the Incheon Asian Games. Now, in the rest of the day's news, Islamic State militants have released a video appearing to show the murder of British aid worker Alan Henning. The 47-year-old taxi driver and father of 2 was delivering aid to Syria in December when he was kidnapped and then held hostage by Islamic State. British Prime Minister David Cameron has condemned the murder, saying it shows just how barbaric and repulsive the terrorists are. US President Barack Obama vowed to continue to take action to degrade and destroy the militant group. At the end of the short video showing Mr. Henning's murder, an Islamic State militant who's been dubbed Jihadi John threatens an American hostage identified as Peter Kassig. Now, it's still a tinderbox of tension in Hong Kong, with fresh clashes breaking out today between pro-democracy protesters and opponents in the city who would like their streets back. The protests have been largely peaceful thus far, but there are growing concerns the worst unrest Hong Kong has seen in decades could turn a lot more violent. Hong Kong's leader has described the situation as anarchy and lays the blame squarely at the feet of the student protesters who continue to defy police warnings to dismantle their blockades. They won't leave until their demands for democracy are met. Now, witnesses say around 1,000 protesters faced off in a Hong Kong suburb early this Saturday, but there were no uniformed police in sight, at least. Meanwhile, police in Hong Kong have arrested 19 people, including suspected members of triad gangs accused of attacking pro-democracy protesters. An American cameraman who contracted the Ebola virus while working on assignment in Liberia is scheduled to be transported to the US state of Nebraska for treatment. The NBC network, which hired Ashoka Mukpo, a 33-year-old freelancer, said he will be flown to Omaha to be taken care of at the Nebraska Medical Center's biocontainment unit. The patient was among a team working in Liberia with the aid group Doctors Without Borders. Mr. Mukpo's parents told a US news network that their son had been documenting the outbreak in Liberia for 2 weeks. He's expected to leave for the United States on Sunday and arrive in Omaha on Monday morning local time. Now, every fall, hikers and non-hikers alike flock to Korea's beautiful mountain ranges to enjoy the fiery colours of autumn. Our Son Jung-in gives us some pointers on the best places to go.
The falling mercury levels in recent weeks have brought out the beautiful fall foliage on mountains across the country. Seoraksan Mountain in the northeastern province of Gangwon-do is already enjoying its first signs of the vibrant colors. The magnificent shades of yellow, orange, and red are starting to spread southward, extending 25 kilometers further each day. Other major mountains are forecast to show their first foliage soon. Odaesan should begin seeing it this weekend, Chiaksan on the 8th, Jirisan on the 9th, and Bukhansan on the 15th. The official start comes once leaves undergo a 20% color change, while the peak is when the color reaches 80% of the seasonal transformation. Peak colors normally appear 2 weeks after the first fall foliage is observed. So for those planning an autumn trip, the foliage will reach its peak on Seoraksan Mountain around October 18th, Jirisan on the 21st, Garyongsan on the 27th, and Bukhansan on the 28th. Mountains nationwide will soon be packed with hikers enjoying all the scenic autumn beauty that Korea has to offer. Son Jung-in, ARIRANG News.
Definitely worth a trip to the mountains if you have the time. Now, finally, we're going to leave you with the weather for the rest of the weekend. It's going to be a fairly chilly night. The overnight low is going to dip to 11 degrees Celsius in Seoul, so bring a jacket with you if you head out. Sunday will be similar to what we enjoyed today, with mostly sunny skies, and highs nationwide will be in the low to mid-20s, so it will be beautiful. Let's take a look at the weather conditions in your part of the world. Well, those are the stories we have for you at this hour. For more of the latest, don't forget to check out our website, arirang.co.kr/news. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Goodbye.